Join me today as I fly Egypt Air's business class from Cairo to Mumbai. We're flying 5 hours with the A330-200 and we'll be going over the lounge experience, seats, meal service, and a traveling experience at the arrival airport. Egypt Air doesn't always get the best rap, so I'm excited to try it for myself and give you all an honest review. I'm flying solo for this one. Let's go! I landed at Cairo International Airport, which was absolutely chaotic. I had an 11-hour layover before my flight, and if you had a visa, you could potentially get accommodation. Everyone was waiting in this line, and so of course I also waited and got confused, only to be told that I couldn't get accommodation because I didn't have a visa. Duh. I made my way to Egypt Air's lounge, which, even though it looked kind of bare bones, it was a spectacular experience. Simply because the staff was so nice and they allowed me to stay for the entirety of 11 hours, even though it was completely packed. The food offerings were very tasty and there were a lot of options, including deli meat, desserts, hot food, and an espresso machine. If you enjoy this type of content, please consider giving my channel a like and subscribe. It helps out a lot and I'm really trying to get to 1,000 followers. Finally, it was time to board. While I do, let's check out the seat map. Today, I'm seated in 9K. The seats were dated. I don't know if I'd consider it worth the price point because there are way better options out there, and it was a step down from the 786. However, there was a ton of legroom, and a very nice gentleman in the cabin helped me film how spacious the baggage storage was. Thanks, stranger. There were only 3 of us in business, so I could potentially sit wherever I wanted after takeoff. Unfortunately, the seats looked very used and kind of dirty. There were scuffs and food remains everywhere, which was a really big shame. No personalized airflow above the seats and very basic outlets, which unfortunately didn't work. Like, none of them worked. And I had to ask cabin crew to charge my phone when it died. We were each provided a water bottle, and upon being seated, we were welcomed with a cold towel and watermelon beverage. The drink was very tasty and fresh, 10 out of 10. The safety video played, and we were taxiing to our strip. Takeoff time! Once the seatbelt signs turned off, it was time for meal service. I got some sparkling water to start and was very pleased with the appetizers. We had some blackened shrimp with smoked salmon, some greens, cheese, and bread. It all tasted really good, except for the bread, which kind of tasted a little bit stale. The main dish was salmon and saffron rice. It really looked beautiful, but it did taste a little bit bland. Could have used a bit more seasoning in my opinion. And for dessert, we got a brownie and fruits. This meal was delicious. I got a coffee to finish up the service and watched a show on my iPad. I look really checked out. Okay, IFE time. My seat's IFE was broken and upside down, so I had to switch seats. The remote is very dated and I had a lot of difficulty navigating through. Okay, so this is one I've never really seen before. When you pressed World Video, it showed all the video with numbers, but it didn't actually have any titles. You had to look at the in-flight entertainment to see which number corresponded with which title. And I couldn't find it in the in-flight entertainment because I didn't have that magazine. Very interesting system. Here's the seat in its lie flat position. I'm sorry it's so dark. The bedding was soft and the pillow was fine, but this isn't a fully lie flat seat. It's slightly angled upward, but it didn't bother me too much and I was still able to sleep soundly. We were given these biscuits as a bedtime snack, which I honestly couldn't eat because I was so full, but they looked delicious. I slept for a decent 2 hours and before I knew it, it was time for our descent into Mumbai. The entire trip from Newark to Mumbai cost 76,200 points and $1,055.80 Canadian. I think it was way too expensive for the experience, and compared to other carriers, I honestly don't think I would fly with Egypt Air again. Also, side note, I lost my jacket on the flight. I was so tired I left it behind, and when I asked the crew to retrieve it, they said it wasn't there. But how could they not find it when there were only 3 of us in the cabin? And I definitely had it on. Was it taken by a passenger? A crew member? I don't want to point fingers, but I'm really never gonna know. And it did make me feel a little bit sour. That's it for this review. I will see you in the next one. Bye.